Welcome everybody. I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial today on how to use the Prime Multitrack app. We're going to be setting up a set list so that you can use on Sunday. Part of that will be adding the tracks that you'll be using, setting a custom arrangement so that it matches the kind of roadmap you want to be singing, and also sharing out this set list to your team members so that they can practice along and use this tool to practice during the week. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do is tap on Setlists, and over here we're going to create a new set list. First I'm going to pick the service date, which is going to be July 2nd, and then I'm going to also put the date in the name just to kind of help us organize a little bit our set list, because we'll be kind of working off the same kind of space, so make sure it all looks nice and neat. So I'm going to do the year dash month dash date. I'm going to say it's Sunday, and then I'm also going to put name just for reference. Karen's going to be leading this week, and that way we kind of know whose set list it is. Create set list. Great. Alright. Next step is going to be to add our songs for the week. And so we just go to library, and then we're going to add the songs that Karen's going to sing. First one is "Oh Come to the Altar," the acoustic version. So let's do that one. You tap on that. You'll see on the right side here the actual original track that we bought or uploaded. You might also see under custom arrangements some saved arrangements. So the nice thing there is, like, if we come up with a pretty commonly used roadmap that we're never going to sing this bridge or that, what we can do is save a custom arrangement, say whose it is or what, like this is the short version or whatnot, and then in the future you can just pull that arrangement and not have to set up a new arrangement each time. So right now we don't have any, so I'm just going to click on the original, add to set list, and I'm going to go ahead and add the other two songs as well. The other one's Only King Forever. Let's look for that. Only King Forever. Add to set list, and the last one is going to be How Marvelous. There it is. There we go. Alright, so we got our 3 songs for this Sunday. The next thing I'm going to do is let's go ahead and set a custom arrangement. This is the part that's a little bit more tricky, so hopefully I can help you figure that out. So we got the track here. So you can see all these different markers. There's like 7 instrumentals or something like that, and way too many. And it's a 5-minute song. We're going to cut this down into the actual length we want. So first thing to do is click on this pencil icon, and then we're going to do edit arrangement. Just as FYI, edit marker is you can actually change where, like, verse 1 is verse 1, change chorus is chorus. We're going to try to avoid that as much as possible unless there's actual issue with where the actual markers are. We can fix it, of course, but I think when you change the markers, it might mess up other people's arrangements. So here's arrangement. So I'm in the edit arrangement mode, and then you can click on this little plus icon to zoom in on the bottom right under the pencil here. Or you can click it again to zoom in more, and then go back to the arrangement one. So I'm looking at Karen's map here, and she wants to sing 1 intro. So I think what we're going to do is cut out 2 of these probably. And one tip here is you want to kind of listen to it to figure out which one you want to cut out. Sometimes one of them has, like this song, it starts with the drums and then is the full band, and she wants the full band, so we want to for sure cut out the first one, and then you might trial and error to see if this sounds better starting on the second one or the third one. So what I'm going to do is cut out this first one, and to make the arrangement edit, just double tap on the section you want. You can either add a section after that, or you can delete it. So in this case, I'm going to delete that first section. Let me take a quick listen to see how that sounds.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
So that sounds pretty good, but I'm going to try deleting the second one. Sorry, double tap, and see how the third one sounds as an intro, as the first one.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I don't really like that one as much as the first one sounded better, or the second one technically. So I'm going to add that second one, and it's these sections are kind of in order as they appear in the song. So in this case, there's 3 intros, so I'm going to add the second one back, and I'm going to take, and I think that added at this one is the second one. So I'm going to take out this one, and let's listen to it again.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
sounds pretty good. Let's see what happens when it hits the verse.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
Perfect. And quick note here, while you're doing the arrangements, if you find that, let's say this intro, you wanted to cut it in half more, just kind of let me know about that so that's where we have to change the marker so you can subdivide it more. When you're kind of in this view, you zoom out, like say this verse 1, if you wanted to cut it in half, you have to change the marker to be able to do that. And there's also a few limitations there, like if we purchased the track from Loop Community directly, you can't actually change the marker. But a topic for another day. Feel free to chat me on that. Okay, so there's more edits here, but I'm going to say, for the sake of this training, we're done. So let's hit save. And so now that arrangement is saved. I'm going to also set the keys to the right keys. Tempo should be correct, so let's do the keys. Everything this week is going to be in D, so all you do is tap on the key at the top, change it to the key you want, and then it's set. Same for this one. I'm going to change this key to D. And How Marvelous, I'm going to change that to D. Okay. If you did want to change the tempo, you can pretty easily change it there. You can tap it, however you want to set it. And then while we're up here, I'll give you a quick run through also on transitions and timing. If for some reason a song has like a super long ending, you can actually set when the end of the song ends. So if you were to tap back, it would actually end it like 5 seconds early. You can also set, reduce the start time in case that start is too long and you wanted to start right away. You can reduce that start time. You can also set a fade out, like when you want, let's say that you don't want it to play all the way to the end, you can fade it out a little bit too. So that's how the time works, and where that comes important is transitions. So real quick dive into transitions. Let's say you want to go straight in from the end of O Come to the Altar into Only King Forever. What you can do is tap the square here, and there's a couple different options. The ones that I use the most are either crossfade. That's probably the most one I use. So what it's going to do is, as soon as it hits the end of O Come to the Altar, it's going to start playing the next one, and it's going to fade the O Come to the Altar out while it fades Only King Forever in. The other way you could do is do an overlap if you find that it's the same key and it's weird for it to kind of fade in when it should be full. You can do an overlap where it'll just start the next one while the first one is still ending to kind of give you a smooth transition. Advance is going to move to the next track, but it won't start it, so it just gets you ready for it. And then stop is just going to stop after that track. So let's try a crossfade and just see how it sounds.
Outro 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. End 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Intro 2, 3, 4.
So probably not the transition we'd want to do in this case, just because it goes from super slow to super fast. But you get an idea of how it transitions pretty well there. And you can kind of tweak those start times and end times to make it sound better. Let's go ahead and share this out to our team so that they can practice with it. And what we're going to do, first thing now that I made these changes, I'm going to hit sync. Now, to actually share this to the team members, we're going to actually need to hop on over to loopcommunity.com. Log in. And you should have the login as you're going to make sure you log into the ACC Prime account. Okay. All right. So under our account here, and you can see the ACC logo there. Click on Prime Cloud, and then we're going to go to Prime Setlists. And here you'll see all the set lists that have been created under this account. Again, it does have to be on this ACC Prime account. It won't work under yours to be able to share it out. So I see the one we just created, Sunday for Karen. And take a look at it. You can actually see the songs here. And you can change the name if you wanted to. What we're going to do is add members to the team. So here we have all of the people that have been added to Loop Community so far as team members for ACC. Let's say, for example, Sam, Jeff, and Titus are on the team. What you would do is just click search for them, or if they're already here, just hit plus, 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 save. And now all three of them, when they log into their Loop Community Prime account in their app, they'll see this. And actually, I'll show you what it looks like on their end. Ooh, okay. I still have the set list from last week. So what I will do if I am playing, I'll go to setlists and click on shared with me. And now I see, oh, there's Sunday Karen's, July 2nd. Click on that, I can get a preview of the songs that are on it. I'm going to hit load set list. And boom, it's going to download the songs for the week. And then I'm ready to practice. And you'll notice that it has the right key. It should have that right arrangement, right? Because Only King Forever, I deleted those 2 intros. And it also got the transition that I set up even. So like, let's say you know you're going to go from Oh Come to the Altar to Only King Forever, and you know that transition is going to be set. You kind of get it to sound right. When your team practices, you can even have them practice that transition as well. The last thing I'll give you a quick tutorial on is how to run pads. So there's technically 3 different pads you can use in this app. They all have a different sound and you can run it differently. So I'll kind of run through each one and you can kind of decide which one works the best for you. So the first one is going to be this built-in one. This is brand new to version 7, which just came out. It's very easy to use. It's right here in the bottom right corner of the screen. All you do is select the key that you want the pad to play. Let's say we're in D. Let's say there was a 4th song in D that we don't have a track for, but we want to have something kind of running in the back to fill the sound a little bit. Just click D for the key, set the volume. You can mute and solo it, and then just hit the power button to turn it on. It kind of naturally fades in, which is nice. If you turn it off when you're done, it'll naturally fade out. Or if you're changing keys and change the next song is an E, it's going to fade. Still, depending on the key, it may not be a good transition, but at least it won't hard cut over, which is nice. And then the other thing about this is that you can change the octave, which is nice. So right now it's on 0, which is the middle. You can go up, it'll kind of hit an octave higher on the notes, or you can go down 1, which will hit low. So you add a click track, you hit plus library, and then instead of picking a song from here, you go create a new click, pick the BPM, let's say 100 in 4/4 time. 2 subdivisions, and then accent on. And how long do you want it for? Just do a long time. So let's say 8 minutes, just in case. Name. So let's say this is Jesus, You Alone. Alone. Done. Add new. So to run the pad with the click in this format, they kind of operate separately. So you just have to start the click, and you can turn on the pad. They don't talk to each other, so if you stop the click, the pad will keep going, or if you stop the pad, the click will keep going. So kind of separate in operation there, but easy to turn on the pad, easy to start the click, pretty straightforward there. The second way you can do it is we have the one that I think sounds the best is one called Simple Pads 5. This is actually a pad that was purchased and then they uploaded. So it kind of appears here as a track. And the tricky thing about this one is that you have to upload it with a certain BPM, and then you can only change the BPM so much. So I've kind of uploaded them in different ranges. So depending on what BPM range you need, you make sure you pick the right one. So let's say we're doing it in 74. That's fine. I'll add to set list. And all you do is run it like a track. It has a click with it. If you want, just click on this to turn on dynamic click. Let's say we can double the subdivision. There we go. This one sounds the most natural. It kind of fades in a little more gradually, and it's more subtle, if you will, versus this one is like, it's kind of a straight, less dynamic pad, if you will. Okay, and the last one is just up here, actually under pad tracks. There's one from Loop Community that I got for free once, so it's on there. Click add to set list. It also shows up as a track, but the way that this one works, you've got many different pad tracks you can adjust to adjust the sound. So you can hear what each one does. There are different octaves, different. So you can kind of create your own sound, if you will, if you want a specific sound like that. So So you just got kind of the three different ways you can figure out what makes the sound you want the most. Louder songs may sound better with one of them, and softer sounds may sound better with other ones. Especially this Simple Pass 5 is really good for soft songs, because if it's more audible, this one sounds more pleasing and more dynamic. One last thing to cover here is the sync function. So let me clean up my set list first, since I did all these paths. I'm going to remove these. Let's say I finish setting this up and it's ready to share out with the team. And oh, I forgot to make a change. So let's say How Marvelous is actually an E. I forgot. Oops. I sent it out to people already downloaded it. How do I fix it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and make the change. Let's change this to E. And then what you need to do is hit sync here. If nobody else has accessed it anywhere else, it'll just sync. If there's a different version in the cloud, it'll ask you, do you want to overwrite it, or do you want to download the newest copy and overwrite your changes locally? So if you know that yours is the true one that should be uploaded, do overwrite the cloud one so that your changes here will overwrite the cloud. Or if like, oh, actually, I think I made the changes on the other device, I just want to update this iPad to match what I already made, then you want to overwrite the local copy. That's just in case you're working on it in two different places. But if not, like you saw earlier, I just hit synced and it was done. Great. So as a musician, I'm going to switch over to my bass account. Let's say, oh, hey band, I made a change. Please log into your app, and I'll show you what to do. Okay. So I'm the band member. See, How Marvelous is still D here for me, right? But it was actually changed to E. So as a band member, all I need to do is click sync. Here's a good example of if changes were made. It's going to say, hey, my local copy looks different than the one in the cloud. Since this one's not the ACC Prime one, I can't overwrite the cloud, but I could just keep working on my one locally, since I know I made a change that I want to keep. That's fine. But in this case, I want to pull from the latest from the cloud, because I know that one of the songs was changed. Worship leader told me, hey, make sure you sync your set lists because I made a change. So I'm going to say pull latest from cloud, and oh, there we go, change to E. So anytime you make a change after you've already sent the set list out and told people about it, just make sure you tell them, hey, I made a change, click sync, and then they should be good to go. So I think that concludes it. Hopefully that helps you to get started. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help, and hope it worked well. Thanks, guys.